Long before kingdoms rose, before prophets spoke, there lived a man in the land of Uz, a man of peace, honor, and unshaken faith. His name was Job, wealthy in possessions, blessed with family, and respected by all who knew him. But beyond the quiet hills of Uz, another story was unfolding, unseen by human eyes. A conversation in the heavens, between light and darkness, between the Creator and the accuser. This is where the story begins, the hidden war behind Job's suffering. Job was known to be honest and kind, a man who feared God. He prayed every morning, asking God to bless his family. Job had 7 sons and 3 daughters. His home was filled with joy. People called him the greatest man in the East. But far above the earth, a meeting was taking place in heaven. The angels came to present themselves before God. Satan came with them. God asked him,
"Where have you come from?"
"From walking back and forth on the earth."
God said, "Have you seen my servant Job? No one is like him.
He only loves you because you bless him.
Take away his blessings, and he will curse you.
Then God said, "Very well, you may test him, but do not harm him." And the test began. One day, a messenger ran to Job.
"Your oxen and donkeys were taken by raiders."
Shortly after, another messenger came with more bad news.
"Fire fell from the sky and burned the sheep."
And another piece of bad news followed.
"Your camels were stolen and your servants killed."
The final bad news was a devastating one for
"Your
Job.
sons and daughters, the house fell on them."
Job fell to the ground in grief. Despite his grief, he still acknowledged God.
The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be his name.
Satan, watching from the shadows, frowned. Job did not curse God. Another day, the angel stood before God again. Satan stood at heaven's court and said, "Skin for skin. Hurt his body and he will curse you." God said, "You may touch his body, but spare his life." And Satan went out to strike Job. Sores covered Job's body from head to toe. Although he was in pain, he did not curse God. His wife said, "Curse God and die." But Job replied, "Shall we accept good only from God and not trouble?" For days Job sat in pain, his body weak and his heart broken. His 3 friends, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, heard of his sorrow and came to comfort him.
Whoever suffers without reason, God is just.
I have done no wrong. Still, my heart is in pain.
"Your children must have sinned. God never punishes the blameless.
If I have sinned, tell me how. I only want to understand.
You speak too much. If God spoke, he would show your guilt. My friends, your words are like wind. You do not know my pain. I cry to heaven, but there is no answer.
They whispered among themselves, saying, God corrects those he loves. Job heard them and answered, Your words wound me more than my sores. Satan was watching, hoping Job would break. Heaven was silent, but God had not left him. Job whispering, Even if he slays me, yet will I trust him. His prayers rose like a wind to heaven. His friends began to doubt their own words. Job waited for God's answer with tired eyes. Remembering how he helped the poor and the weak, those same people now looked at him with shame. Job's wife said softly, I can't watch you suffer anymore, but Job replies, We may not understand, but God still reigns. The court in heaven watched as Job defeated darkness by faith. Satan turns away in anger and disappears. Job rests under a tree, weak but at peace. Job, still praying, muttered, I know my Redeemer lives. I put my trust in him. God heard Job's words and the air began to move. His friends looked up. They felt power all around them. Something strange was happening. Job and his friends were afraid. A massive storm cloud with light started spinning over Job. The Lord started speaking from the storm. His voice thundered from the whirlwind. Flash of lightning splits the sky. His friends fell to the ground in fear. Then the Lord spoke from the whirlwind. God said, Who is this that speaks without knowledge? Where were you when I made the earth and set the stars?
Can you command the morning or send lightning?
Job felt small before the maker of all things. God's voice grew gentle. Will you correct me? Tell me. Job presses his forehead to the ground, weeping. God's light shines fully on Job. Clouds part slowly. The storm passed and peace filled the air. Job's friends kneel near him, faces ashamed, knowing they had spoken wrongly. God said, My servant Job has spoken the truth. Offer a sacrifice, and he will pray for you. They brought a sheep, and Job prayed for them. God accepted Job's prayer and turned his suffering into blessing. Seasons changed, and with every sunrise, the ground grew greener, the air grew softer, and Job's heart, once broken, began to hope again.
The fields look magnificent this evening.
And the garden is thriving too. We'll have plenty for the feast.
God blessed the later days of Job more than the beginning. His fields began to bloom again. He acquired more herds, and joy filled his land. He lived to see his children's children and walked in wisdom.
Remember the lessons of the past. Patience and kindness are the greatest virtues we can cultivate in this life.
Job learned that faith is about trust through time, because God restores, not in a moment, but in his perfect time.